Hello, this is Victor, and we are here with a new live. So, just one moment, I'm going to check that everything is working correctly. I'm going to check that my live is visible in YouTube. Just checking. Just one moment. Confirm myself. Here it is. So, we are here with a new live session, and as you can see, I'm going to be painting a little bit of Krondys. Okay, here we have the dragon. I'm doing a tutorial on it, but there is a part that I have to do some progress before doing the next step. So I would like to do that. And I don't know if I will have time to do other things, but I also want to finish this guy here. Okay, so we are going to change now the camera. I'm going to take off my face from here. So let me just see which one is this one. Is this one? Let me see. No, the wrong one. This one. So let's go. So I hope everything comes correctly. Just I need to check one thing here. As always, this is not keeping all my setups, and I always need to update some things. So yeah, thanks if you're joining. I hope you're going to have a good time here with me. And we're going to be painting, as I said, Krondys. I'm doing the white part, that is the belly part mainly, and it's going to be a lot of cleaning of the washes and edge highlight. So it's going to be quite entertaining work that I have to do on this guy. Okay, entertaining but necessary. So I'm doing the white mainly, and then if we are in time, I can do a little bit on the blue uh, to get ready for the next step in the tutorial. So yeah, what I'm using here is different grades. Different grays. I'm using grays here, celestial gray, and of course I'm using white as well. Go to the new, and this is the base color that you see here. It's mainly apothecary white. The contrast paint have done a very it's a great job to do white is a great paint. So it's doing a great job, and I highly recommend apothecary white if you need to do something white. Although it's not, they call it white, but it's not white. It's like the Corvus, no Corvus, no the Corex white. It's not white neither. It's a very light gray. So what I'm doing now is I'm cleaning up the scales, making them more visible, and adding when is needed some edge highlight to make the scale more contrasting. Okay, and I hope I can put this on camera. The challenge when you're doing a miniatures that big is to have not to be too far, but at the same time to have the miniature on camera because it's not that easy sometimes. Okay, so I'm just now working on these scales, and you go scale by scale, doing the cleanup and painting them. As I said, this is quite time consuming. Okay, here we add some white, and also you have to be very focused. So if you're joining, please just say hello. It's always appreciated. Even if you don't want to chat more, just and if you can share this live with other people that can be interested in seeing how I paint and have some chat, so I will appreciate it. So I'm This is a miniature that I wanted to paint since the first moment I have seen it. I think it's a quite a nice miniature. I know there was a lot of debate. Well, not a lot of debate, but I know some people does not like this type of dragons. I really like the dragons. I always been a fan of dragons, and I like a lot the new lineup of the Stormcast Eternal. So I'm, as I said, I'm working on a new expansion of my Stormcast Eternals. So I want to increase my army, and I'm almost leading this expansion with Krondys, right? So I think it's a great miniature. I was hesitating if I wanted to do Krondys or the other dragon, but at the end I decided for Krondys. I like the dragons that have magical powers, although I'm not convinced a lot about his um, spell. Anyway, it's more a painting for, even if the dragon is not good in the game, I did not want to miss the opportunity to have to paint it, right? So I also ordered the other two smaller dragons that have riders on top. I'm thinking to, well, I don't know, can be quite curious to deploy Krondys together with the Celestan, the Lord Celestan on Stardrake. Do a heavy hitting dragon army. So what you do here is you just keep, here I had some type of contamination. I keep pointing the different scales one by one. And then when I think is needed, I will do some edge highlight with pure white. For example, on this one, I will do like that. Then we will gray. As I said, this is a type of paint job that you have to be patient, calm, and you also need some type of precision. But at the end, I think it's worth it because normally you have cleaner finishing of the scales. That is what at the end I'm looking for here. Go. White. Scales are quite, they are quite nice detail, these dragons. I think I'm very happy with. I just have to say the one I have is the one that like Duncan that had a defect on one of the. It was a miscast in one of they call it miscast is a misinjection. So this is an injection molding, and it's very strange to have this today on injected molded parts. To have a point more likely they had like I guess the mold had a type of contamination or small room breakdown on that area. There was an area that was not filled correctly with the plastic. And I noticed that because there were a lot of flashes on another part of the sprue. So most likely meaning that the quantity of plastic injected was correct, but this part maybe was blocked by something. Can also be that it's blocked by a born piece of plastic that is not being released, and then it's causing a problem of filling because you cannot fill it because there is a stuck part there that is not released. So I'm doing a tutorial on this guy. My intention is to share on the tutorial all the different steps how I did. And this part is already explained because I did the top scales on the tutorial. So now what I want to do is to do all the part that I do off camera so I can be ready to film the next part soon. Let me check if I can put music in this. When I'm using OBS, I cannot play music. I don't think this is existing in OBS. Okay, highlighting here. The other tricky part when painting these big pieces, sorry, is to reach some parts. But I find, yeah, and this is why a lot of people do sub-assemblies. But these sub-assemblies are a challenge how the miniatures are designed. So here's some white. This dragon is have some tricks on how have to be assembled. So you have to be careful when assembling this dragon. And the one I have, because the one I have is the one I said that have the problem. And then there are parts that if you are not careful, you can leave an important gap between parts, between pieces. And you want to avoid that. on this. Okay. Today I went to art shop and I bought some sprays, different colors, mainly to focus or think on doing terrain. So here we have a little bit of the Coelia green shade going into the white part. So I'm going to clean up this as well. Yeah, I'm painting. Sorry, I'm painting under the wing. To be fair, if I paint fantasy, is to be able to paint this type of nice miniatures. This is some of my favorite things to paint. And it was for a while that I wasn't doing one of these big miniatures. I think the last one was Mortarion. So now I will work on this one. But I try to do. The other thing is you have to balance painting these big miniatures with the smaller paint jobs. And sometimes you even want to do first. In that case, because I already have painted a lot of storm cars and I have an army that I painted a while ago that is good and is big. So this is why I started with the dragon. But when is your first army, or when is the first when you want to start a new army, I want to say, okay, I always will recommend that you start with a small miniature, a troop, and do like a test miniature, right, to see how your color scheme is working or not, and wait and keep the centerpieces for later in the project when you start having tired of the project. So this is because it's a great motivator to do this type of miniatures. Got some room I found just to do the scale that I miss. Okay, let's take note. Some gray color. These scales. This arm is not done, so I think I will do the arm, and then I will go to the other arm. Edit. It's tricky. As what I said, it's tricky to find the right position as well. Once you want a comfortable position to paint. Then I also need to prepare some weekly painting, some weekly painting, sorry. So this next week, I think I will do something about making schools, painting the schools on piece of terrain, like these ones here. Okay, these are still not done. It's something that I want to work. Oy. Sorry for that. It's been a long day today. I hope I'm not very sleep. I'm not too sleepy. I think in workshop is doing quite a good job with these minis. So please let me know if you like to see this type of big projects. And also you can vote what will you like to see next in my live shows. Would you like to see me painting Stonecast, Ninehound, or keep painting the Blue Ball team, the Dungeon Ball team of the Ogres, so the Fire School team? Let's do the other arm. Okay, I think this one can be shown in camera. Vale. This one here. What I'm still hesitating on this dragon if I want to put the armor plates that came with the miniature or not. I'm not too in favor to put here. I missed the apothecary white, so I will do it now and I will change area. Ooh. Yeah, this morning I had to wake up because my son is super fan of trains and he likes to do train spotting, and today also he did plane spotting. So they went to a special place here in Brussels to spot airplanes and to spot trains later on in the station. And to clean up this mess I put here. There's a mistake here. And I like to clean up. If I do a mistake, I like to clean it up at the moment. I'm going to take a little bit of this. Okay. This is why you start from the inside. Because now this is the most difficult and the less accessible part. It's very easy to hit another part while you are painting this. especially when you're doing miniatures. So this way I like to start with this part, and then when it's more advanced, maybe I will glue it on the base and keep working with the dragon glued on the base. But I don't know, because I want to minimize touching. And maybe I should wear gloves to avoid that the grease that we have on our fingers, it's making it or dirtying it or making it non-paintable, because then the paint is sliding too much. So try not to be to have greasy hands when you are painting. Mm. Let's keep working on the hand. The other thing I wanted to do is, if you are having a channel and you would like to collaborate, I'm I would love to collaborate with other channels. I think I should find as well another channel to play games. Hey, sorry. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? As you can see, today I'm painting a big guy. It's really nice miniature. I will say the design is great, but the way it arrived to me is not that great. Let's see the other leg. Okay. The big parts. Let's go. Go. So, okay, another one. Go. Yeah, I'm not very talkative today because I'm when I'm focused on a miniature that I want to leave it good. I'm not talkative when I'm painting something more casual. On top, today I'm very sleepy as I said, so I don't think I will be able to be long on the stream. I think I will go for a coffee and I will come back because I need to wake up a little bit more. Just one moment, I go for a coffee. So yeah, I'm quite sleepy and I will need a coffee to be able to stay a little bit longer. It's here 12, 11. I want to stay until maybe 1:30. So I'm going to do that. I will make a new shot of coffee. I'm waking up quite early. I'm going to bed quite late. Normally I'm sleeping only if I'm lucky 6 hours. It's more on 5 hours and a half. And at the end of the week, you notice that. End of the week, you are tired. So this is why I will. No, it should be warm and I can take it off. Sorry for that moving. Here I'm back. Now with my coffee. Now it's different. So as usual on Krondys, I decided to take my own paint job, my own color scheme. So I still want to use to be in the blue spectrum. Okay, but for example the inner scales I wanted to go. I didn't want to use a warm white. I wanted to keep quite cold the whole dragon. So this is why I decided to go for more bluish way to do it. Here, I guess. Again, I'm missing contrast, so I wanted to put contrast here. So how this was done to this step is all the white part is done with apothecary white, and now it's highlighted using celestial gray, um, gray sear, that is the frame I use, and white. Okay, then the blue part so far is temple guard blue with a wash of coelia green shade, and then this part dark greenish is coelia green shade on top of the apothecary white. Then the only other thing that you can see is I put um, Drachi violet here on this part to make the spine darker. Okay, quite happy so far how it looks like. Difficult to put my dragon on camera because it's quite big. It's quite big, so it's quite a nice and big miniature. Okay, so and then is a miniature that you want to spend some time making a nice paint job, right? This is going to be one of the centerpieces. I don't think I will do the two dragons. I would like to have them both. I don't remember the name of the other one, but if I will do it, I will not do it. I will do it as a red dragon. No. And you want really wet palette to paint these big miniatures because you will be using a color for quite a while. And you want this color to keep the consistency. On a traditional palette, you will we need to be adding water continuously to the color that you're painting with because it's quite a long paint job that we do. And this, I live with a wet palette. The paints keep moisture. Okay. No. Why the other white? Okay. So this type of miniatures, as I said, you will invest a lot of hours on these miniatures painting them because you need really you want to or at least in my case I really want to spend some time having a clean and a crisp paint job. Yeah, on big miniatures normally I work with sub assemblies. As I said, this one it's difficult and most of the parts are easy to reach. You know, the other thing I bought recently, so recently I bought the Warcry expansion. I have bought the Elder Codex and I bought the the dragons of the Stone Cat, the two guys that fly on the wagon that you can make a unit of two or a unit of one with a hero. Then the other thing I bought have been books. I bought the book of the Kill Team where appears the Sisters of Battle. Okay, and I bought the Red Harvest for Warcry. So maybe one of these days I will go back to Warcry as I'm playing with a person with a friend. I'm playing Warhammer and the Wolves, and he would like to test Warcry. So if this is the case, I don't mind to use it to paint a little to play a little bit of Warcry. I don't need to paint anything special for Warcry. I have with my HC armies, I have enough miniatures to place Path of Glory armies. Okay. Remember that if you want to share your paint jobs, we have a Facebook group. You can find the link normally in the description. If it's not in this video, just open any of the recent videos. It will have the link how to arrive and the needs to participate in the miniature competition, the miniature painting competition. This part is tricky because it's super difficult to access. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add it right here. So this is what I'm working on. The hands and legs allow me to show. This is the tricky part. Here I need to reach these scales that are complicated. Complicated to reach what I want to reach. Okay, I'll come back to the selected brush. Advancing here. At least let's see if I can do the full white. I'm going lower than expected. But if you have seen I'm doing a tutorial, and in the first part I share how I was doing the base. Okay, so this is I already explained the tutorial, is already available. And now, as I said, I'm doing the second part on the intro itself. And the only thing I have to be careful is not to do things that I would like to record later on. So try to be neutral. And as I talk about highlighting the white part, so I'm working here from here just to, yeah, it's a way for me to enjoy. I think this meter, so but it's enough with one normally. Okay. Now with the like way. Okay, let's skip. So we have another 2x. I will do the tail. What I want to highlight here. And it's quite normal that you go back to highlight parts that you have not done before. Okay, but now it's time to highlight this big tail line. Now I would like to start highlighting all the scales in the tail. moment. Then a tip, I already explained it here, but one way to make your edge highlight thinner, first I'm applying the edge highlight quite thick. Now the main idea is to come with the previous color, make it small, but first I need to correct that I went too far with the white. Okay, let's do it like that. So now we're coming with the gray, and I will go next to it. Okay, now let's take the rest of the gray. This can be seen down. So the way have to be seen down. It's a long tail. Okay, let's put the highlights in this pass. Okay, and then try to correct the mistakes I do. I'm already retired and doing more mistakes than normal. Take the rest of the gray. Now let's see the right line. Okay. Sorry, I'm quiet sometimes, but I'm really thinking about what I'm going to do next. Okay. Whew. So let's make now the lines. This is I want to find, but I want to make the lines similar to what you see. So you use another pen that you need to use a similar area. You paint it in the same color as your mother or father. To the other side now. But trying to make it in camera, it's difficult to show everything. You want to put this part in camera and then when this happens, I'm moving down by mistake. I'm using magnifier glasses and I got something that went into my eyes, so I decided to remove one of the things I have put to have better, tighter the glasses, the magnifier glasses. Should paint first then erase, not erase, in celestial way. I think I should have to paint them first. I just need to go a little bit of camera to be able to do this part. Back here in the camera. So I think I will put more celestial gray on these guys. To make the white less stark. They will match. position of these scales is not helping me to find a good position to paint them and to share in camera. No, I'm clear what I want to do. I want to paint these scales with the rest away, and then do the highlights in white. I don't know why I cannot stay in the scale without going out of the scale. Stop. Get set of myself. I cannot be precise enough. So as you can see, sometimes you have to change the strategy if you see that what you're doing is not giving the result that you wanted. Okay, now what was now should be okay. Had like a small stream on my eye. Now it's better. Now it's better. Let's keep doing. Let's see if I can do the tail at least. Only the wings. Okay, let's bring these big guys. Okay. Now I will keep doing the scales on this side, and then I will do the other side. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. Doing first from one side and then we do the other side to match. Let's keep this. So water here. Maybe I need to start also applying twitch at the same time. I need to think about on the platform live. the boys start having long tails, huh? Again. Yeah, don't paint it, Sleepy. Hi, SX. Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you. How you are doing? Sorry, was here. I'm painting Krondys. In the here. One miniature that I wanted. I like it since the first moment I saw it. I was very glad that it was released under the Stormcast Eternals, and I don't have to use mercenaries to put him on my list. Adding the other side. And when it happens that you clean too much and you clog like here, let's read the dredging a bit before we do anything. No. Okay. Okay, let's keep advancing and let's see if I can. Yeah. Yeah. I want to do it. Work on them. Okay. Yeah, it took me longer than I was expecting to do this. To be fair, I had other things ready to be painted if I had to, yeah, if I was finishing that. But yeah, this type of miniatures, I try to underestimate how long can take. So I think I will go to bed, and soon I will put more videos on how to assemble these guys. Okay, so let me just put the camera because I'm not inspired. So when someone is tired, it's difficult to. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. That is fantastic. I'm going to attempt to finish my last 4 Vs of Snaga Boys. It's more a bigature than a miniature. Yeah, it's this guy is quite big. Today, sorry, today I'm not. I was a little bit distracted. I was very focused on that. This guy is quite big. You can see here. And yeah, this is the base of this guy. So it's taking me some time. I'm doing a tutorial on it, and yeah, I'm just making the step. I explain how I do this step. No, I just was trying to finalize this step to be able to do the next one soon. But I don't think, as you can see, the tail is it's very long, and it takes quite a while to paint. And this moment, I'm not doing my best job on these scales. So yeah, when you are a little bit sleepy, you have to be careful because you do a lot of mistakes. Okay, when you are more active, it's better. And yeah, today I'm a little bit. Yesterday I went bed late because I was painting as well this dragon. This is the type of bigature, as you say, that takes a lot of hours to have it painted. So this is why on top there are parts that I cannot do well on the table. I have to take it on a different position. Okay, because it's too big. So I need to put a little more. It's too big, and then you need to find a different position. Yeah, I think I will go for some rest. So I'm glad that you at least see that you were around. I'm also happy to see some 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 friendly faces here in well faces or names I have to say more likely. But I'm also happy to see some people that is coming back. And you are here painting with me for Saturdays. I will yeah, I would like to stay longer, but as I said, I think it's better I go to bed now. and I take some rest. Okay, it's always thing that you always want to do a little bit more, a little bit more. So if you can go to the next step, but I need to do as well the wings. So you can see, yeah, just because I want to do the scale by scale. I don't want to use dry brushing. I really want to have a very um, contrasting scales. Then I will need to add that second the edge highlight on white, so you can see that it's quite time consuming to do this tail. No, there is. I have to put. So this one, there is a gap here that I don't like it. I will need to do some I think something there, and I had to use green stuff uh, on this part here. Okay, there is some green stuff, and on top I had to sculpt because here I had a hole because there was in that part there was a hole because there was a misinjection because this is an injection part, right? So was misinjected in there. So I had to do, yeah. It's not for a beginner. It's not for a beginner there, and it's not one of these. It's not the best from Games Workshop in terms of how it goes together. So yeah, there is. I think they can improve this one. Um, the start weight, as far as I remember, was better than this guy in terms of assembly. So because I don't remember to use win stuff on the start weight. So this is why I think this one have to be improved a little bit. So have not been perfect. There was some guns that I had to use some green stuff. Like I use it because I didn't have the put at the moment yet. So I use liquid green stuff to cover some gaps. Okay. So not was not matching perfectly together. What is a little bit disappointing on a miniature that you have spent that is costing 120 euros, right? So you expect that it will go smooth and easy. So, but it's not super complicated. It's not impossible, right? But it can be improved. And I think this misinjection was happening in a type of a batch of this method because then later on I was looking for the comments. Duncan also had this problem that was not full injected. It seems that it was a batch sold in Europe that had this problem. When I say Europe, it's including UK. So I was a little bit disappointed, right? When you pay that much for a miniature and there is a mistake in the injection. But at the end, it was easy to solve, right? It's a little bit of weird stuff and I solved it. Yeah, it's unusual because I have to say that I assembled the Magnus and Mortarion, and even it's not that new, but one of the Vermin Lords, and they were assembling perfectly. So it's not common that you have difficulties to assemble. But yeah, it is what it is. I think it's quite risky to make the wings in two pieces, and both wings are two pieces, for example. They take some quite risky decisions on this miniature. The tail on the other side, there is a joint somewhere, but it came together very nicely. So I will say there is some parts that you have to be careful, that is easy to leave a gap, but it's not a super complicated assembly. Yeah, but I agree that Games Workshop on the normally on if it's not a push fit miniature, the push fit if you don't glue it, it's very easy to leave a gap. So I always recommend to glue the push fit miniatures. Yeah, it's not a definitely. I don't think this is a piece for a beginner. I also think big pieces. I will not recommend big dragons or something like that to a beginner. I will also recommend that a beginner start with small miniatures because these big miniatures, if you're not used to them, are very tricky to paint, to assemble, to know how you have to, if you need sub assemblies or no. This one you don't need sub assemblies, but you should not glue it on the base because then it's easier to paint it, especially this part. Although this part will not be visible at the end, but I mean, there are parts that if you glue it, are impossible to reach, almost impossible, and they are quite visible because the belly is going to be difficult to make a nice paint job if it's glued. This is why I'm doing the bottom part. But then, yeah, this is why I did not glue this guy to the base. Because I think it's better to work first the bottom, then the top part of the wings and the top scales. These ones maybe you can assemble and then you can finalize these parts, right? But the first parts that are what I'm doing now, okay, don't glue it on the base. Now, as you can see, I was doing celestial gray. Now what I'm going to do is take white and try to do a thin edge highlight on edge of the skin. Okay, and now I think it's time to stop. Because I think you get the idea what I'm doing here, right? One was a little bit too thick. It's normal that it's, yeah, it's difficult to make it thick because how I have to position the brush is not the best way. But if this happens, I come back with the celestial gray and you really use the white bar. Now we have more a thin highlight. Let's keep working. here. Okay, ready. Okay, I will keep working on that later on. So this will be all for tonight. Okay, I was quite, yeah. So just let me go back to the OBS. Ah, so sorry today I had to stop, but I'm really tired and yeah, I need to have a good rest. And yeah, next week we are going to do another session. Okay, next week I think I will be more on. Maybe we'll come back to my Blue Ball Dungeon Ball team, or maybe I will be. I think I hope the wagon will be quite advanced for next week. So I don't think it's going to be finished, but I hope it's going to be quite advanced. So that's all for tonight. So thanks a lot, Essex and Michelle, for passing by. I really appreciate that you have your time to pass by and say hello. Uh, I really like to be able to interact with you while I'm here. Sorry if I was a moment I was concentrating doing the scales and I was not paying too much attention to the chat. Um, but yeah, I need to put some water here on the wet palette. See, I always like to moisture the wet palette. Be sure the colors are okay. And that's all for tonight. So if you want to see how the miniature looks like, no, this is how big it is the miniature. Okay, and this is the without the base. Okay, so it's quite a big one. So as usual, thanks a lot for passing by. Have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy tomorrow Sunday, and I hope you have also good weather tomorrow. Okay, thanks a lot. See you later. Bye.